Welcome to the Roy Morgan Weekly Update. Last week's Reserve Bank decision to cut interest rates has had a big and highly predictable impact on the key weekly indicators. Inflation expectations, down. Consumer confidence, up. Government confidence, up. And the Roy Morgan poll shows a clear boost for the Albanese government, with the ALP now on 51%. That's up 2.5%, ahead of the Coalition on 49%. On a two-party preferred basis. The ALP's narrow lead means if a federal election were held now, the result would be a hung parliament. Either the ALP or Coalition would require the support of minor parties and independents to form a government, although the ALP would be favoured. The swing was consistent across the board, with both men plus 2.5% to Labor and women plus 3.5% moving to the ALP. Importantly, there were swings to the ALP in the largest states of New South Wales, Victoria, Queensland and Western Australia, the states at which the coming federal election will be decided. Last week was definitely positive for the Albanese government, but the question, of course, going forward is whether the government can maintain that momentum or the boost in support will prove short-lived. Government confidence, whether people think the country's heading in the right direction or the wrong direction, improved for a second straight week, up 5 points to 85, now at its highest for over a year since January 2024. However, almost half Australians still say the country's going in the wrong direction, 49.5%, and only 34.5% say the country's heading in the right direction. Now, consumer confidence. ANZ Roy Morgan Consumer Confidence reacted positively to the Reserve Bank's decision, jumping 4.7 points to 89.8. The increase was driven by Australians' views about their own personal finances, which improved markedly this week after the Reserve Bank cut interest rates for the first time in 4 years. Consumer confidence is now at its highest since May 2022, the month of the last federal election. Unsurprisingly, the Reserve Bank's decision was most keenly felt by people paying off their homes, those with mortgages. Their consumer confidence jumped by 10.7 points to 90.9 and is now the highest of any of the three key housing groups. Consumer confidence of renters increased 4 points to 87.9, while for home owners, those without a mortgage, consumer confidence was virtually unchanged, even slightly down at 90.5. Inflation expectations had a big reaction to the Reserve Bank's decision to cut interest rates, dropping by a significant 0.7% to 4.2% over each of the next 2 years. Inflation expectations are now at their lowest since August 2021, mid-pandemic. And the immediate reaction to the interest rate cuts suggests that many Australians are now confident inflation pressures in the economy are lessening. Given the predictable response to the Reserve Bank's interest rate cuts, it's clear that the timing of any future rate cuts is a delicate decision, socially, economically, and politically. New data from Roy Morgan on health insurance shows that despite rising cost of living pressures, most Australians are maintaining their private health insurance rather than opting out. But a significant number are switching providers, or at least looking around. As of December 2024, more than half of Australians aged 14 plus, 57.2% to be precise, have private health insurance, equivalent to approximately 12.9 million people. This represents steady growth over the past 5 years, rising from 52.9% in December 2020 to 57.2% in December 2024. So the increasing cost of living is putting pressure on family budgets and driving more people to look around for the best offer. Although most are still deciding to renew their policies with the same company. In the year to December 2024, 6.8% of private health insurance policies switched to another company, and 17.9% were renewed after approaching another company. Among health insurers, HCF, Bupa and AHM have been the biggest winners from customer switching in the last 12 months, benefiting from their reputation for competitive pricing. The yellow bar in this chart indicates the net result for each of the health insurance providers. HCF had a net increase of 40,000, Bupa had a net increase of 24,000, and AHM 24,000. In contrast, Medibank Private saw the largest customer loss due to switching, with a net loss of 47,000 customers. Finally, what are Australians reading? Well, the Roy Morgan readership estimates for the 12 months to December 2024, released yesterday, show Australians want their news. 97% of Australians, an estimated 22 million people, consume news in an average month, either in papers, digitally, or via online platforms or apps. The most widely read category of news remains general news, that general news category with a unique audience, or read by, 21.2 million Australians, equivalent to 93% of the population. Around 2/3 of Australians, 65%, or 14.8 million, turn to the property section, the second most popular overall. And now, with the cut in interest rates, we might expect this number to increase. In third place is sport, read by 12.2 million Australians, or 54% of the population, just ahead of lifestyle and health on 11.4 million, entertainment and culture on 10.9 million, and business and finance read by 10 million Australians. Roy Morgan also reports that magazines matter to most Australians. 65%, or 14.8 million Australians, read magazines either in print or online. For detailed information on the latest Roy Morgan readership estimates for magazines and newspapers and the Think News Brands analysis, visit the Roy Morgan website. Thanks for your interest this week in Roy Morgan's latest results. I'll be back next week